Alright, so this is our team presentation by Josiah, Stephanie, and Lauren. We are a 7th grade team, and the school we chose was Greer Middle School. We are Team 71, the Blue Jays. Our colors are blue and white, and our motto is Flying to Success. Some of our demographic highlights: our student population is 895. That makes up 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. The 7th grade population is 281. 60.5% of Greer Middle students are in poverty. 57.5% are Caucasian, 23.2% are Hispanic, and 18.4% are African American. In general, Greer Middle School students fall behind on SC Ready testing in English and mathematics. Only 32% of the 7th grade students are meeting or exceeding in English, and only 24% of 7th grade students are meeting or exceeding in mathematics. In the South Carolina pass testing scores are actually comparable statewide. They're closer to about 70% meeting or exceeding. So our letter to our parents. We're basically welcoming our parents to Team 71, the Blue Jays. We've outlined 3 targets for our students to aim for this year: discovery, excellence, and respect. And then we go on to tell a little bit more about those 3 aspects. So for discovery, we're letting them know that their students are going to engage in a variety of classroom activities. They're going to discover their interest, and they're going to be learning through different modalities. As far as excellence, we're going to expect persistence in rigorous tasks and also producing quality products. As far as respect, we expect their students to share ideas, have good listening skills, model good listening skills, and also modeling respect. And then we finish it off with our motto: together we will fly to success. Creating a safe haven for students. Our biggest goal was that we wanted a school building that is safe and non-threatening physically, emotionally, and socially. So some of the things that we're going to do to create an environment that is like that, for security, we're going to make sure that adults are visible. We're going to engage unfamiliar people. So if you have somebody that you're not sure who it is, we're going to redirect them to the office to help staff and students feel safer. Listening more, so being attentive to learn and deal with different concerns and issues as they develop. The more we listen to what our students are telling us, or even what our students are not telling us, we'll be better able to deal with concerns as they arise. Another big point is having an open door policy. Students will know that they can seek out teachers and leaders with concerns and specific needs. They can be anonymous if needed. And they'll also be encouraged to engage in and model respectful communication and listening skills, kind of like what we talked about in our parent letter. And the last main point is transparency. So we want especially our team and our school to be transparent about common and popular social issues, especially like bullying. So admitting it exists and offering solutions to diminish it. As far as curriculum and meaningful learning, we're going to do a lot of hands-joined activities. So hands-joined activities are when the teachers and the students unite together to accomplish learning. So we're going to try and incorporate this as much as we can throughout the year. The first thing we need to do is find topics that are interesting to our students. Once we've identified those topics, we can co-develop inquiry questions around this topic. So the teacher can guide the students by asking them, like, I wonder how this happens, or I wonder why this happens. From there, the students are going to nail down more specific questions, and in that process, we'll incorporate objectives and goals. So we're going to be incorporating those learning objectives and goals that we need to accomplish through these inquiry questions. At that point in time, the teacher switches from co-planner to facilitator. So they're really just going around making sure students have the resources that they need and they know what they need to be doing. It involves a lot of giving students the appropriate amount of time. And then lastly, authentic sharing. So whatever project they've been working on, whatever inquiry question they've been exploring, they're going to get the chance to authentically share it to an audience. Assessment that promotes learning. So our definition of assessment was any procedure for obtaining information about students that is used to make instructional decisions. So assessment that is valid and is reflective of student learning, so it's measuring what it's intended to measure, that is relevant and challenging, it aligns with learning objectives, and it provides feedback to promote meaningful learning. That is how we're going to promote learning through assessment. We're going to use formative assessment, which helps us understand and respond to student needs and guide our instructional decisions. So things like exit slips will help us understand where our class stands and what we either need to go over more or what we need to revisit, or even maybe things that we don't need to go over because they already understand it. Our summative assessments are going to be planned out before our lessons. So in understanding by design or backwards design, you actually plan your assessments first. So that way you know what your students need to know and be able to do. You identify the standards that you want them to know. You break them down into smaller sections, and you line those to specific types of assessment. It's important to note that not all assessments have to be pencil and paper tests. You can have performance tasks. You can have projects. You can have experiments. And the last type of assessment we'll be using is peer and self-assessment. So encouraging a lot of discussion, displaying their methods of thinking is really important. And also so that they're exposed to a variety of varying perspectives. Because when students are required to think about their own learning, articulate what they understand and what they still need to learn, achievement approves. So when they're able to self-assess and peer assess. Parent contact plan. So we want to have a positive parent contact plan. So obviously we're going to greet parents before the school starts, introduce ourselves in our classroom, and gather any kind of concerns they might have about their students, about 7th grade, about social concerns. We're also going to have a Team 71 website that might have notes, pictures, videos of activities in class, in school, and the community. Monthly, we'll also send out a newsletter. And this is also a good way if somebody doesn't have access to internet, they still get this monthly physical paper that's informing of them of what's going on in the classroom and around school and any upcoming events. We really want to celebrate student success, so we don't want to only contact parents when something bad's happening. We want to share any good news with their parents. We also want to have team meetings so we can discuss what's happening in our classrooms, especially individual students and how they're doing in our classes, so we can maybe collaborate and see what instructional methods are working or not working for that student. As far as misbehavior, obviously we want to make prompt contact with the parent, and we want to work together to find a solution. We really want to focus on the collaboration between the parent and the instructor. Obviously follow up, and then we need to have a contact log that notes attempts and reasons and resolutions of our contact. Advising plan. So for our advising plan, we want to meet daily to discuss social, emotional, and academic needs. We want to involve activities that build self-esteem and relationships. We want to discuss and model appropriate communication and listening skills. We want to identify, confront, and stop bullying. We also want to offer peer tutoring. We have a couple of key points of the advisory program we would like to see. So our key points are that it should promote community, communication, compassion, academics, and problem solving. So for like community, we're going to improve peer relationships, practice respect, work on becoming a family. Communication kind of falls under that. Bonding activities, working on trusting peers and teachers, initiating meaningful and authentic conversations. Showing compassion, so we're connecting to each other, we're caring for each other, we're actively listening to each other. Academics, obviously, we're focusing on completing our coursework and peer tutoring, allowing students to work with other students to see that different perspective and see that they can help each other out. And then lastly, problem solving, finding solutions and preventing frustration and practicing self-control. So for our integrated unit, we chose the scientific revolution. So in history class, they're going to be learning about the scientific revolution, and we're going to apply it to all the content areas. So the scientific revolution was basically just a transformation of thought and practice, characterized by an increase in exploration, experimentation, and inquiry in the natural world. It paved the path to modern sciences and mathematics. Our end of unit activity, we're going to have like our own scientific revolution. So it's going to be the Team 71 Scientific Revolution. And they're going to get the chance to share their learnings and understandings from each of these content areas as it relates to the scientific revolution. So really we're looking for them to show how they have explored concepts through inquiry and discussion, and they've demonstrated experiments they conducted, and they're going to share their results with a real audience. So we really want our students to like embody the spirit of the scientific revolution. So show how they've really explored and experimented and questioned things in the world.